Oh my goodness. It's Joe the Realtor.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Did I sneak up on you?
You did.
Sorry.
Right behind me.
Oh, sorry. Well, I saw you were recording, so I just walked on in and...
You don't have your shoes on?
No.
You snuck up right behind me. You took your shoes off to sneak up right behind me and scare me, didn't you?
Like a ninja. Yes.
You ever see that episode of Seinfeld where Elaine buys wrestling shoes so she can like sneak into like people making decisions and she could be in the group making the decisions. You ever see that?
I remember that now.
Yeah.
I also remember the one where there was the guy who snuck up on people, so she gave him Tic Tacs to carry in his pocket.
She gives him Tic Tacs. And so you can hear him coming because it is so like it doesn't even sound like Tic Tacs, but you get it.
No.
I guess Larry David had a thing with that. I mean, I don't think George Steinbrenner sounded like that, to be honest with you, but it was Larry David's voice.
Oh,
So you know,
wow! A little trivia.
little bit of trivia there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that was a studio and it wasn't actually Jerry Seinfeld's apartment?
Get out of here!
I know.
That was not his real place. He didn't like live there. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, you know what? This is not a Seinfeld trivia podcast. This is a real estate podcast.
It's not.
Specifically Kansas City real estate. And you and I went on a field trip.
Yes.
Was it last weekend or a few days ago? Or
It was Wednesday of last week.
Wednesday, yes. I went on a field trip. And I checked out Chapel Hill in Overland Park. It's where it's a new home development. Weichert Realtors is involved with that. That's your thing, right? Tell me about that.
So Weichert is basically the listing agent for the community, the new homes in the community. There's a gentleman who works out there named Bill Giroux who works at Weichert. And just like I do at Tuscan Farm out in Gardner, he does out at Chapel Hill. And a little bit different from my community, higher price point, larger homes. And the model row there represents 6 builders, where I work with an exclusive one builder who's also the developer out there. But Weichert, that's kind of our specialty at our office, the Weichert Realtors Welch and Company office. We specialize in new homes. I believe we market somewhere around 22 new homes communities throughout the KC metro area.
Fancy homes.
They are.
Fancy. They're really, I remember going through each and every one of those homes, going as low as 670 and some are knocking on $1 million, like 900s and something. But yeah, very fancy, cool floor plans. And I mean, it was something else. I walked in there. I was like, wow, this is really nice stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like, I'm afraid to touch anything.
And I'm looking at the kind of here, all the homes that are sold in that neighborhood.
Yeah, it's been going for a while. They're in their last phase.
That is fancy.
Yep.
And they go. People buy them, and they have like one of those community pools right in the middle of it.
They do. They have a lot of amenities out there. They're close to Heritage Park. It's been a really popular community. It's done really well.
Yeah. And there's multiple buyers there. Multiple builders there.
There are multiple buyers as well. It's not one guy who bought all the houses in there. Yeah.
Yes, there are multiple buyers. There's more than one. But the builders, however, there's a very eclectic group here, a very wide variety.
Yeah.
You're the one in Gardner. You said it's just one, so you can have a dedicated builder for one area. Be like, hey, this is, I don't know how it works, obviously. The developer decides they want to build their homes in one area and have you, Weichert, as the listing agents.
Yes.
Whereas this area was like, you know what, we're going to buy this area and I'm going to bring in 7 builders and do it like that.
Yeah. And I think over the course of the community, they've had even more than that. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think they're an open community where you could bring in your own builder, at least in their older phases. But that's in addition to the 6 builders that built the homes in the model row. So there is a wide variety there. Quite a few different home styles.
And I'm looking at this. Chapel Hill also has villas.
They do.
And that is like kind of a townhouse kind of thing, or what is this? Like, seems like it's, I'm looking at the paperwork right here, and it doesn't appear to be like standalone home. It seems be more like a, I don't know, what was, it's called maintenance provided, but what kind of building is this?
I think the term that Closest matches. The Villa certainly represents that, and those are there's Keith Viken is the main agent out there. There's also a lady named Leslie Zarda who just joined out there. Also Weikert. This is how I know all the agents out there. But they are attached homes. They're 2 homes side by side, and they are maintenance provided. So that's a buyer who just wants easy living, doesn't want to necessarily cut the grass or do much maintenance, really. I mean, they're low maintenance. They're not completely maintenance free, but
will they change the filter on my HVAC thing?
So that's one thing that keeps them from being truly maintenance free. Yeah.
Is that thing? I have to go all the way to Walmart and buy another one of those things.
Well, I suppose you could make it as maintenance free as you want by hiring a filter guy.
Oh, I laugh now, but there is actually a website dedicated to like shipping you filters every 3 months.
Yeah.
I suppose you can do that for like toothpaste or toothbrushes or something too. Like
there are ways. Yeah. But, and that's the case with, the single family homes at Chapel Hill. You can hire a lawn service and a housekeeper and a filter guy.
These look nice. The villas are upper 400s, and I can see the price point is obviously that's much more like in my mindset going for like an $800,000 thing versus a 400. Okay, I can work with that, and all these. I mean, just even these villas are like you say 400,000, but I'm looking at the photos of these. These look really fancy.
Yeah, they're finished very nicely. It's just a smaller home, scaled down. People with kids out of the house, or maybe they spend half of the year in a warmer climate. They have a second home somewhere like Florida or Arizona. They don't need it's kind of unnecessary to have a big house to heat and cool. So something a little smaller, but they don't want to give up the granite and things like that. Yeah.
It's a Cheryl wall. Is that right?
You do. But they do your best to stop the sound.
I'm sure. It's like, unless you're like a college kid with drum sets.
So far,
my band can still make it, man.
So far, I don't think they've sold any homes out there to college bands.
Yeah. I'm looking at a lot of builders here. Gosh, I mean, at Chapel Hill.
Yes.
First one I see is Doyle Construction. They do the Arcadia.
Yes, they are 2 brothers. Their dad, Mickey, started the company, and now it's Chris and Sean Doyle. I have worked with them before. They so they're second generation builders. And fun fact about them, they both played Big 12 football.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Which school?
So Sean played for. One of them played for Mizzou and one of them played for KU.
Okay. And, all right. Well, let's not mix that up because that might create some problems. Well, I'm sure if they figured out this way to keep their family together.
Yeah. Well, I think it was Sean played for Mizzou because I met his whole family one time and his daughter was like very much a Mizzou fan. And I think it was Chris played for KU, but they're really big guys and could really beat the tar out of me if I get that wrong. They wouldn't. They're hilarious dudes. They're I'm
sure they're great. Yeah. No doubt. But whenever you see like a football player, Division I level elite, or like NFL, even for that matter, and you see how big they are, you're like, holy Lord, you're like barely like you're barely human, because it's like you think like 6'1" is tall, but you see like a 6'1" or 6'3" NFL player or 6'7" and how they're built. You're like, oh my God, the way they're built, it's insane.
Even the older guys, long after they've retired, they've still got, you can tell they were just big hulking guys. They've got big shoulders, big hands, Of course, these guys spend a lot of time in the weight room, but guys who make it to the NFL are just kind of genetically inclined to.
Oh yeah. Every time I think I've seen a few when I went weekends in Kansas City, I see people who look like they played like higher up NFL, and I always visualize myself getting hit by them, and I'm like, oh, I don't think I'd get back up. These guys are so big.
Or even when they're diving for the ball and they're like showing it in slow motion, it's like they grab it and then they just fall like 3 feet to the ground. I'm like, doesn't that hurt?
That looks like it hurts. Yeah, that's gotta hurt.
But if you were ever offered a wager on who could bench press more, me or Travis Kelce, put your money on Kelce.
Is that a segue? I don't know what that. So Doyle Construction,
yes,
football dudes. All right, and then Bickamer Homes.
Bickamer is also a second generation company. Tommy Bickamer is kind of the principal there, and his dad Tom Bickamer started it. And so yeah, that's kind of a unique thing. We've got family businesses where are building your homes out there. That's unique to the Kansas City metro area.
That's great. Yeah, I remember seeing that too when I was reading through these teams. Yeah, a lot of them are like second generation family. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that's a good idea because you raise kids and they see you enjoying your job or seeing like, hey, I want to be what my dad's doing or what my parents are doing.
Yep.
It's good, and you pass on that knowledge to the next generation. So, the Suma Design.
That's Mark Suma. Not as familiar with him because he's done a lot of his building in the past in the northern part of the KC metro area, north of the river, and had a lot of success up there. But he's built a few out south and has been at it a long time. As far as I know, he's first generation.
Okay. All right. I'm just kind of go through these more. Like, I hope that's okay. Because I'm looking at all these players. It's here. Newmark Homes.
Newmark Homes. That one is a newer company, but I really hope I'm not getting this wrong. I believe it's Jeff Julian, who is the son of Don Julian, who, so it's a separate company, but we should probably Google that.
Yeah. Keep talking. I'll check it out.
Yeah. Some guy is like, why are you giving all these props to Jeff Julian? I'm not him. But the next home in there, the sales office for Chapel Hill is Don Julian. And Don has building in the Kansas City metro area ever since homes were invented.
Is that right?
Yes. He is truly the old guard of home builders.
It says here Don Julian helped found Newmark Homes in 2005. And so Don has over 35 years experience.
Clearly, we aggressively researched this podcast.
Yeah, we did. I should like get to know you. I should ask you questions more.
Yeah.
I should talk to you more.
But no, the reason I was a little unsure, there were two companies that kind of started around the same time that had similar names, and I could not remember. No disrespect to Jeff. I could not remember which one was Jeff's company, and I was pretty sure it was Newmark. But
so this Don Julian, you whenever I talk to you, whenever you're touring these homes, it sounds like this person's been around for a while.
Yes.
Like a famous builder. Would you say famous?
He's as famous as it gets in the Kansas City area. There's a neighborhood north of the river, Riss Lake, this beautiful lake community, one of the very few lake communities in the Kansas City metro area that he was on the development side and building side on, and they've like named streets after him in Parkville, Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool name too, Don Julian. That's a good name. That could be a tequila. That could be some sort of spirit.
It could, or a very high end restaurant. Oh, welcome to Don Julian's.
Oh yeah,
we have a table for you.
That could be like Don Julian's in Vegas.
Yeah,
the Bellagio or something like that.
Ooh, yeah, it could be like that, or it could be like one of those old timey steakhouses with like red leather booths and.
Yeah, so we go see Penn and Teller.
Yes,
and then we go to Don Julian's. And then
even though there's no Don Julian's out there, like next time I'm in Vegas, I'm like, sorry, I got to go. I have reservations at Don Julian's. And people are just like, oh yeah, that sounds like a restaurant.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you live around here? No, from Reno actually.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So and then there is a James Engel. I'm familiar with James Engel.
James Engel, very big builder, high volume, one of the bigger builders in the Kansas City metro area in terms of just the sheer number of homes they build, comparable to Don Julian. James Engel, they're innovative. They've, you see a lot of some of the newer stuff in their homes. Their home, nothing against the other guys' homes, but I was particularly impressed with the James Engel home in the model row out at Chapel Hill. It's just this big sprawling ranch house that way bigger than any new built ranch that I've been in a long time. So.
Nice. Yeah. The Talk to me about trends. I walking in these houses. I see like there's a big, obviously open concept.
Yep.
And like staircases are like almost immediately when you walk in. Almost all of these. I could be wrong. Like downstairs or upstairs. What kind of trends are going on right now? Would you say after touring all these homes last week?
Well, as you saw from going in them, formal space is kind of out. Everything's informal. It goes along with the open concept, very casual living. All of the homes out there had 2 living spaces. Most of them had them in the lower level. The Doyle home was the only one with an upstairs, and they have a loft upstairs. So for a second living area up there. All of the homes we looked at had the primary or main bedroom or master bedroom on the main floor. Excuse me. As you go up in price point in the Kansas City metro area, that becomes more popular. One, it's a little more expensive to build the homes that way, and 2, it's thought of as a premium feature. But with costs going up, I think the 2-story may make a little bit of a comeback, but that's very popular. Noticed the main bedrooms, the primary bedrooms had large, almost spa-like master baths, bathrooms with big walk-in showers.
They do. They have like 2 shower heads, like those waterfall shower heads.
Yeah.
Is that how you call those? I don't know.
I like like the ones that come directly out of the ceiling and are right above you.
Yeah.
We call those rain heads.
Rain heads?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, because you're standing. It's like you're standing in the rain. It's falling right.
Are you screwing with me right now? Are they really called that? Joe does stuff like this. He does this to me.
I've already gotten enough stuff wrong today.
He does this on purpose.
Jeff Julian invented the rain head shower.
So rain heads. Okay. Yeah, those are cool. There's like, they do have like a spa feel to them. And also like, and like the bathtub is like above like, the ground, right? And it's like this standalone kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's something out of I don't know, so like a TV show or out of a magazine thing. Like if you like to take a bath, I guess you guys sit in that thing. I guess I'm used to, the bathtubs that we all grew up with, right? I don't know if there's a name for those, but like the bathtubs are all just the tub. I don't know.
You're from Central Kansas, so you had a wash tub, didn't you?
A washed. Yeah. It had like that washboard on it and everything. But the bathrooms are very, they walk through. It's like a walk through bathroom with 2 doors, and then sometimes they go to like a closet area, or other times they go to like a washer dryer area, and so they connect like the closet upstairs to the washer dryer area, or to where like the bathroom. That's very fan. Tanya really enjoyed that. She liked how like where you wash clothes. That's right next to the closet.
Yep.
And that was a cool feature. I also was very impressed with the some of the basements were finished, and then you walk in and like there's like another 2,000 square feet of unfinished basements, and you realize how big the footprint is.
Yep. Yeah. Whenever you have at least 1 bedroom on the main floor, you're going to have a big foundation and a big footprint. And I remember, the first time we went in, the James Ingle one, I was like, check this out. There's still a bunch of unfinished space. And you were just like, whoa.
You could put a hockey rink down there. It's so big.
Yeah.
And then now that's a redevelopment, or like that's what an updated unfinished basement is, to like put a hockey rink down there or a bowling alley.
Yeah. It's a lot of space, and could do a lot with it.
Put a Top Golf down there.
Put a Top Golf, an archery range, hold track and field events.
Yeah.
Hold the Kansas relays there.
Yeah. You could do that. Put a university in there while you're at it, so you can hold the relays and have college down there.
The unfinished portion of James Ingle's ranch at Chapel Hill has its own zip code. Police force and fire department has a representative in the state house.
So I guess what I have to say is Chapel Hill, really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Quite a bit south, Overland Park, isn't it? It's kind of a haul. Or tell me I'm wrong. It seems like, for me, it seemed like quite a drive, but that's fine. I mean, that's where we're building, so it is what it is.
Yeah. 10 years ago, there was hardly anything out there. 20 years ago, there was like nothing. It's just the way the Kansas City metro area moves. It moves south.
That's where they're building.
Yeah. It's there's some newer development up north of the river too. But it's kind of funny. Whoever laid out our city guessed completely wrong, and our airport is about as far away from everything as it can be because it's up north.
I look at all the farmland when I was driving down there. I'm like, I bet these farmers or whoever owns this land is just making a killing off developers getting those homes, or that's their retirement plan, is to sell those to builders or developers. Who knows?
It can be. Yeah, but there's also some ground that's been sitting out there too long. The developers or whoever owns the ground is just like, yeah, I'll just hold it until somebody pays what I want, I guess.
So what we're saying is, if you owned some of that land and you want to sell it, I know a guy who can help you out with that.
Yeah, we can. The Weikert does that. We have a guy on staff who will get with people who have bought big plots of land and help them plat out the subdivision.
Nice.
There's 3 or 4 people in the Kansas City metro that have just invested their money, their earnings, and have built up quite a bit of wealth and are reinvesting it in land. And that's something we've done with investors out and all over the metro, mostly out south and in Johnson County, but all over.
All right, let's talk about interest rates. Now, if you're developing a new plot of land, is interest rates going to cause any issues, disruptions to building these new homes in these areas? What do you think, Joe?
It could. One, the buying power of your potential buyer is dinged a bit when interest rates go up naturally. It seems to be a pretty quick blip when interest rates go up that puts people on the sidelines. If you are a developer carrying loans, construction loans, if you didn't lock them in a year ago, you could be subject to higher interest rates. And that's just on top of everything else that's gone up, putting in sewers, putting in streets, things like that. But so, it affects every level. It affects the construction loans, the builders pull, it affects the home buyer, it affects the developer. It comes at you from all sides when interest rates go up.
Yeah, but still, though, it seems like there's opportunity at this interest level rate. Again, but we're not builders. We don't know. I assume there's a lot of opportunity out there still at this point.
Yes.
And you would think that they'll find a way to make it work. And there's ways to figure it out. But yeah, I think we're all paying attention to interest rates right now, right? We're all getting the news. I saw a headline that said real estate prices are finally, they use the word cooling. There's a little cooling effect going on nationwide.
If it hasn't happened already, I think a little bit of air will come out of the balloon. I don't think we'll see a burst, but a little air will come out. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let's. Which I think we all agree we're due for something to maybe stop for a second, slow down or cool off, or air let out, whatever metaphor you want to use. We're due.
Yes. I think so. I mean, historically, real estate values over a long enough timeline are going to go up, but this ascension was so quick. Mm-hmm. It's unsustainable.
It really, it's just not. It's like, you back historically, you can see like a trend line of some kind, but then they pop like this. You're like, what is? That's not how that's supposed to look. But long term, it's a good mindset. But if you're looking to like cash in, sell, bro down, or whatever, as I like to say, cash in. That's from South Park. Sell out, cash out, bro down. Good. That's right. No, I like to think if you're going to buy real estate, if you're buying it as a primary residence, that's not. This is me talking. Like, I don't really think about it as like investment time. I think about like, how am I going to use this property and what's going to add to my life, and if it accelerates or like grows in value, all great. That's good. Obviously, if you're an investment person in property investment, that's a different story. They want to make money as fast as you can, get it flipped and move on with your life. That's how they make money. But these prices are interest rates. I knew it. I remember thinking that like, well, I saw one thing that said like the average cost of a monthly mortgage went up like $400 or $500 a month for the same kind of cost last year. I swear I saw a thing that said that. And that's why whenever the interest rates popped up, I was like, yeah, that's going to make your monthly cost, like your monthly payment, be that much for the same house, like $400 more. And that's going to make people rethink buying a house that's 350 or 400 that is listed on Zillow's estimate of 400,000. But I think to myself, like the mortgage they're going to have after a 20% down payment is like, it's more than what my current mortgage is. And the idea of paying that is making me like, I don't know if they want to pay that. That seems bizarre to me.
You know, and get with a good lender and talk about, there are some things you can do. You can do what's called buying a point, which is basically buying your rate down at closing, which we're in an environment now where it might start to make sense to do that. You can go ahead and buy and just kind of bank on, well, maybe later this year rates will back up a little bit and you can refinance.
You could do that. If you have a loan shark, buddy,
yes.
You can do a speculation on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
See if they take that.
Yeah, you can see. Yeah, see if you can finance your home with NFTs. Yeah.
Oh, that would be a very, very sad discussion in 5 years if NFTs are like went the way of the beta, the beta max.
Well, I don't have $350,000, but I have 10 cocktail napkins that Conan O'Brien doodled on.
Yeah. Are you a Conan fan by chance? Like more of a Letterman guy? Damn it.
Oh, darn.
Snap.
Letterman sale, I guess.
Why didn't I get the Letterman cocktail napkins? Yeah. So Joe the Realtor, the market seems like it's cooling. What do you think? What do you make of it? You watch this stuff every day. What do you make of what's going on?
It is a bit, but it's relative. I mean, there's almost been a straight ascension since we came out of the economic downturn. When would have really ended? 2009, 2010 is when, everything kind of cleared out. Things really started to pick back up, and I got back into real estate full time in 2012, and it felt like a great market. It hasn't really felt like a bad market since, you know. So for the last 10 years, there was a little break I had to take. I was in it 06 to 09, and then came back in it in 2012. And, it was a different world. Then the market's the market, there's a market price for everything,
That is true. Like, I mean, when it comes time, the people ask the question, like, when is a good time to buy, a good time to sell? It's almost like a personal choice. It's like, what is your situation? What are you looking to do here? Is it like, do you have a family and you want the kids in the family to be in a spot here where you like the environment where you're at, their neighborhood, you're close to your work? And other people like, is it a good time to sell? Like, are you looking for your family? Like, no, I want to make 85 grand off this deal. I'm like, well, okay. People with kids maybe aren't thinking about that. They're thinking about what is the staying power, or what does the market look like, 10 years from now when it comes time, like if kids move off to college and then kind of downsize, that kind of thing. So I guess it depends, like, what is your personal situation? What's the job market like for you, kind of thing? And,
absolutely.
Yeah.
A
lot of variables.
Yeah. When you're talking homes, yes, there's a lot of variables. Yeah. In the home itself, and then in your own personal situation, it's like, I say this a lot. It's not like ordering a pizza.
We did that in SEO too, which is search engine optimization. And we do that like
SEO, as I call it.
SEO. Right.
Those in the biz.
I've been through so many meetings or consultations, and they ask you like, can we rank if we do this, or how long to take before we rank before this happens? And they've also asked you all these questions to like get your website at the top. And pretty much 90% of the time, the response is, it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on a lot of factors. But the goal is to like put yourself in position to give you the best chance possible to reach the goal that you want. And that's what we offer here. Like, I don't know if you feel the same way about being a realtor. Like, if the goal is this, I got to put you in a spot here to give you the best chance to get that house that you like. And there's 5 other people bidding on it. Yep. We're going to give you the best chance we can. Or if you're selling a house, you want this is the price point you're hoping for. I'm going to give you a good chance if we do like this. I don't know. Tell me I'm nuts. I feel like I'm spouting off here.
Yeah, you're nuts about other things, but not this. Yes. No, it's entirely true. It's where you're at in life has a lot to do with where you live and when you live there. So yeah,
that's poetry, Joe.
Yeah, and
philosophy.
So, but what I'm curious about is what kind of SEO you can do to get me to rank first for selling Conan O'Brien NFTs.
That's not hard. I bet you that is not hard to do. If you want to rank, I'll write a blog post on the website specifically for that if you want, and we'll rank for that.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, people who like look at our real estate website will be like, what is this all about? And I'll have to like post this segment of the podcast on it. And like, this is what Joe like called me out. I had to do something. But
we don't know Conan O'Brien. So these will be replicas of Conan O'Brien doodles.
How we think Conan would doodle these. Yeah. And we're going to sell them with our interpretation of how Conan, who probably Googles his name every day, and he'll be like, what is this about? You know, that kind of thing. So, okay, that might have to be a thing we do. We'll see what happens. But I have one thing to say, Joe. Good podcast.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Good podcast.
Yeah, we talked I'm glad we actually got into some specific builders because a lot of those guys are my friends. I've worked in new homes a long time, and
they make a good house.
They're all great to work with. Yeah.
Nice houses. They look really fancy. I hope to one day maybe buy one of those houses because they are fancy.
They are nice. Yeah. Very aspirational. And maybe we'll have to have some of these guys on it sometime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'd love that. I'd love to talk about like the building process. And I know people who are, they want to build a custom home. Talk to somebody, get the, what's that called? We're going to go to the source.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could just talk about these guys. I'd know them. We could actually ask them stuff.
Okay, we should do that. Okay, future episodes, check in. We're going to be talking to builders eventually. But for now, if you enjoyed this podcast of the Kansas City Real Estate Podcast, please like, share, subscribe. Like if you're on Facebook, or heart it if you're on Twitter, or upvote it if you're on Reddit. Or what does MySpace do? Do they?
No, I don't know.
Do they have a thing, an engagement? Leave a comment on. I know MySpace had comments.
If you're on MySpace and you come across us, but tell us.
Yeah. You'll see my autoplay of I don't know, Tenacious D or Weird Al or something.
That stuff like. Yeah, it's got to still be out there on a server somewhere.
Oh, I think the MySpace was sold. Here's the thing is, I don't think they saved that. They just kind of, I don't know if it's not out there. I've tried finding my old MySpace. It's not out there. The same thing with GeoCities. I built a GeoCities back in the 90s and they deleted all that content. I would just love to see how I wrote things on my stupid blog when I was a teenager. But it's all gone. It's probably for the best. It's all said and done.
Yeah.
All right. Joe Stephenson.
Brian Reynolds.
Thank you so much. All right. Thanks for listening.